In this video, we will demonstrate how to specify a security identifier such that it can be used by the REST request node. To do this, we will use the sample REST API customer database service that is provided as a tutorial in IIB. We will push the service to API Connect and configure a security definition on that service. We will then show a client message flow invoking the service which has security enabled. We will also show examples where the request fails due to authorization failures, and then show the request receives a successful response when valid security credentials have been passed. We have imported the tutorial and deployed the customer database service, which you can see in the IIB web user interface. We will push this service to API Connect hosted in IBM Bluemix using the IIB web user interface. We will not stage the product as we need to configure the security definition for the service. As we are using API Connect in Bluemix, we need to specify a proxy address used by the secure gateway service such that requests can be sent to the customer database service that is running on our IIB machine. After logging on to API Connect hosted on Bluemix, we can see that customer database product has been created in drafts. If we click on its API, we can see the design view of the Swagger which describes the REST API. We will add a security definition of type API key. It has the name API key 1. We will now add a security option and specify API key 1. If I open the source view, I can see the security definition in the Swagger. We now have a security definition for the REST API. We can stage the product and then publish it. If we click on Settings and select Portal, we can see the URL opening the API Connect development portal. We will log in using a developer ID for using the API portal. We will request a new application, and we are provided with a client ID. We can use this client ID as the security credential for the API key, so let's make a note of it. If we open the customer database product, we can subscribe to it and specify the application that we have just created. We can now open the API for the customer database product and download the Swagger which describes the REST API for it. We have a client message flow which reads an XML message from the file and will send a JSON request to the service and write the response to another file. We already have the file nodes in our flow, so we'll add the REST request node to that flow. Let's choose the Swagger that we have downloaded to the file system. Notice that the REST request can be configured using a Swagger that is in JSON or YAML format. We'll choose the getCustomer operation and configure the parameter needed by the operation to use a field from the input message. We'll wire up the out and error terminals so that we can show response details when the REST request gets a failed response or a successful response. Let's first attempt to send a request message to the service without specifying any security credentials. We can see that the message has been propagated from the error terminal of the REST request node. The message shows that an HTTP status code of 401 was returned, which indicates that the request was unauthorized. The message gives further details, which says client ID missing. We'll now attempt to send a request message to the service with a security credential that is incorrect. We'll add a map node, and in the graphical map, we can specify a value for the API key in the local environment. When we run the test, we can see the message has been propagated from the error terminal of the REST request node again. The message shows that an HTTP status code of 401 was returned again. This time, the message detail which says client ID not registered. We'll now attempt to send a request message to the service with a security credential that is correct. When we run the test, we can see the message has now been propagated from the out terminal of the REST request node. This time, the message has an HTTP status code of 200. The message contains the customer details that was returned by the service. Instead of setting the security credential in the local environment, we can add it to the security vault used in IIB by using MQSI set DB palms. We simply set the credentials using MQSI set DB palms and then specify the security identity on the REST request node. When the test is run, we can see the message has been propagated from the out terminal of the REST request node. The message has an HTTP status code of 200 and the customer details are verified. In this video, we have demonstrated how you can send requests with security credentials using the new REST request node provided in IBM Integration Bus version 10.0.0.6. We pushed a service to API Connect. We added a security definition to the API and then staged and published the product. We downloaded the Swagger for the API, which contained the security definition, and used it to configure the REST request node. We showed examples of how the REST request node handles error responses from a service, such as unauthorized requests.